going up because they kept getting covered up, or actual people who died, or what?
Yeah, a lot of people ask about that. Those are actually people who were killed. They were not killed by vigilante buffers. They were killed by just vigilante anti-crime nuts who shot these people who were tagging them and killed them. One of them was in San Francisco, a really famous graffiti writer named Ty, who was the most prolific graffiti writer San Francisco has probably ever had, and he was shot in the head while climbing a fire escape to go paint on a rooftop or something. And other guy in LA, Insta, who was killed by somebody.
I just keep wondering about that, the guy in LA, the Joe Connolly. He seems like really, really sociopathically unempathic, you know? I was just wondering like what your impression was of him in particular as opposed to these other people. I mean, I guess Fred Radke too, but...
Could you say that a little louder, or maybe you could repeat?
The question was about Joe Connolly and how he seemed to be sociopathic and have no empathy. Joe's an interesting character. He was the only one who gave us access, who was welcoming us to really filming with him and answering our questions, whatever we had to ask. And to me, he's kind of a tragic character. He is really out of control. There's nothing exaggerated about that, and he's like that whether the camera's on or not. Yeah. He's really one of the craziest people I've ever met, but he's still functioning, you know, on some level. And I feel for him. He also would, like, he's kind of bipolar. He'll be like that, and then he'll get really insecure and emotional, which we didn't show. It just never really fit in the movie. But I don't think he's a total psychopath, but he's definitely got major issues.
Does he have a job?
No, I think he's on disability.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is kind of I love Vigilante very much. I also live in a neighborhood right south of here, Humboldt Park, and there the question, what I'm getting at is how do we deal with the question of gangs using the art to mark their territories?
Yeah.
Because that's what I run up against when I talk to people about the beauties of it is, yeah, but it's gang art, you know, the marking of the territories, not the other part of it, but just,
That's a great question. That's something we didn't address in the movie, and we don't address every aspect of this issue. I know it's incomplete in some ways.
No, I'm just interested in your thoughts about it, because I've thought a whole lot about all of this.
Yeah, well, gang graffiti on the bigger scale is a tiny minority of graffiti. In places like Chicago or LA, it's more prevalent. But in a lot of cities, gang graffiti is barely an issue. So personally, not living in a city where gang graffiti is an issue, I think I have a little bit of a skewed opinion. But sure, gang graffiti can be dangerous. I mean, it's a lot about territory and threats, and I definitely understand why people would want to get rid of it. Maybe there's ways to work with the people doing gang graffiti to encourage them to do more productive art. Just some of the people in the gangs have an artistic impulse. You know, some of the gang graffiti is actually really impressive creatively. Not necessarily all of it, but some maybe. But yeah, it's a complex issue. I don't support gang graffiti, and some people think this movie is saying, oh, graffiti's good. That's not what we're saying.
It's not, but I would just add that one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen was driving on Highway 30 in Nebraska, which runs parallel to 80 and runs along the train tracks, and seeing this train that must have been 100 cars, a freight train, 100 cars long, and every single one was painted. It was just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, it's true, there's a lot of unused surfaces out there in the world that could have expression on them, that it wouldn't be damaging, it would be adding to the environment, in my opinion.
The challenge is awesome.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Anybody else? Questions?
did you pick the places first and then find the buffer guys there, or did you go looking for the guys in the places? In other words, were the characters what you were attracted to first, or the spaces?
The characters
Mhm.
are what motivated the movie. It started in Berkeley,
Mhm.
and it was just going to be a small film about stalking and hopefully uncovering the identity of the Silver Buff in Berkeley. That's all I thought the movie was going to be. It would be like a 5-minute thing I would show my friends. And then we heard about Joe Connolly, the Gray Ghost, the Silver Circle, and it just got bigger and bigger. And we got to go around to New Orleans and Portland, everywhere. Yeah.
I think the decision to insert yourself into the narrative was the right decision, and having watched the movie, probably the only decision you could have made. But I wonder if you worry about that compromising your message at all, A, and B, did you consider doing something like crazy to the extent like having somebody else direct it or anything like that? It would be like really hard to accomplish something like that, but just...
Yeah, there was a balance we were trying to strike of how much of us was going to be in the film. We tried to cut out as much as possible while leaving some of that narrative. I mean, the movie started, like I said, with the story of us staking out the Silver Buff. So that's the genesis of the whole thing. I didn't think we could, take that out or change the movie completely. Yeah, I mean, I have been personally attacked for this movie or being biased, or just there's a lot of people who are antagonized by what's in this movie, and that's partly the point of the movie. Like the quote in the beginning of the movie. I know a lot of people are mad that we were able to make this movie, and people are seeing it, and we were able to express ourselves. They're pissed off about that. So I don't know. That's something you got to take. I put myself out there. I just have to take the criticism too. Yep.
I was just a little more curious about the mental state. All of the vigilantes seem to have a similar sort of OCD, that sort of thing going on. And you said one of them's on disability, and I was wondering if you had any conversations with them or any awareness of if the other ones were needing any sort of care or had accessibility to treatment for mental illness. And how that fits into the larger picture of perhaps the social structure that they're in.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic in a way.
We asked Jim Sharp if he'd ever been treated for mental illness. He just joked back. He didn't answer the question. I think, yeah, it's clear to me they all have some similar obsessive issues, sort of misguided obsession, sort of maybe avoiding other issues by focusing on graffiti as the scapegoat. But I